Hello, I'm Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Dan Laren, here with the case of the week. Recently, the legislature passed a new law called House Bill 463, which changed a lot of the rules about how criminal cases are handled here in Kentucky. One of the changes had to do with bond or pretrial release, and the legislature has relaxed the rules under which people can be released from the local jail while their cases are going through the system. And that has to do with this particular case. It was the day after Christmas last year when a young lady and her family went shopping at Hamburg Pavilion. They left one of the stores and were accosted by a man who stole this young lady's purse and ran away. She gave chase and was joined by a number of bystanders, including an off-duty Lexington police officer who caught and subdued this suspect and held him until the patrol officers arrived. The suspect was identified as Charles Stockton, 33 years of age. He was arrested, charged with felony theft, and taken to the Fayette County Detention Center. The purse, which was valued in excess of $1,000, was returned to the victim. Now, Mr. Stockton is no stranger to the detention center. He's been booked there 11 times since 1996. More importantly, he has a criminal record. He has a prior felony conviction for burglary and one for flagrant non-support. In addition to the non-support that he pled guilty to, he was on bond for that second non-support case. He was released from the detention center, and he disappeared in August of 2010 and was unaccounted for until he was arrested at Hamburg Pavilion the day after Christmas. Now, the reason they tell us that they've changed the rules is to save money, that the state can't afford to house inmates, to house people charged with crimes until those charges are resolved, and so they're generally allowed to come back into the community. They say that that'll save money. On the other hand, it's worth considering the fact that Mr. Stockton has prior felony convictions, has failed probation on 2 previous occasions, has been through and completed the Fayette County Drug Court program. So he has been invested in by the state to some extent as it is. He also is now guilty of 2 flagrant non-support charges, and his child support arrearages are in excess of $40,000. The economic impact is one consideration. Another consideration that doesn't seem to matter to our legislature much is the impact on the victim in this case. This is a young lady who was shopping with her family the day after Christmas when she was accosted by this man who was on bond. So Charles Stockton pled guilty to his second non-support case. He pled guilty to felony theft, and the judges in both cases decided to sentence him to probation, and that he has now been released back into the community and is on probation once again. Was it worth the savings? What was the impact on the victim in this case? How will Mr. Stockton react being probated for the 3rd time? Time will tell. I'm Dan Laren, and that's the case of the week.